I'm going to slap myself, but I still want them to feel that moment as terrifying, nasty, horrific.
Yeah.
When I look back on it now, I can see that the sort of role as fight director was kind of, I was sort of made for.
Yeah.
Because everything that I did was always physical. First minute of any new job is get the trust of that room and that actor. Most important part of the day is the first minute. So I have to show up every time.
Welcome to the Bridge Theatre podcast, where we're going to meet the people who make the magic happen. On stage, backstage, and everywhere in between, we'll find out where their passion for theatre started, the moments that made them, and even what their fantasy production would be. I'm Pauline Fallowell, your host, so get comfy and we'll get started. This week we're talking to Kate Waters, also known as Kombat Kate. She's a fight director for film, TV and theatre. She's worked here since the beginning on our very first production of Young Marks back in 2017, and many productions here since. I'm really excited to talk to her. Well, thank you for joining us today, Kate, for this episode of the Bridge Theatre podcast.
Brilliant.
So excited to have you here.
Thank you.
Do you want to give us a quick introduction to who you are and what you do in this mad world of theatre?
So my name is Kate Waters, aka Kombat Kate, and that's combat with a K as well. And my job is I'm a fight director, so my job is to choreograph all the sort of physical violence that may occur in a production. So that's basically what I do. And that can be anything from a sword fight to a punch-up to something that's even stylised. So it's very much, there's definitely a crossover with movement as well. So it's choreography.
But
and
it's specific.
And it's a dance, but it's very sort of specific to the story of that moment.
And what's the process of that? Do you come up with it? Do you work with them? Do you have to often train them to do those bits and pieces? Or
Well, I'm trained in all of those areas, obviously, but and obviously I've learnt as I've gone along as well. But I mean, your first starting point is the script, obviously.
Yeah.
Because you'll want to know why those characters have got to that stage where violence is happening.
Yeah.
So that's always got to be your motivation. So the story will drive the moves. Okay, not the other way around. It's really, really important that. So there's no use me coming in and just doing my favourite moves if it doesn't work within the story of that piece. The next bit is working within the vision of the director. So a director will have a clear vision of how he sees that moment or what the vision is for the whole piece, and I have to work within that vision so that it doesn't just look like something that's stuck on. It has to sort of be integrated into the piece. And then the final part is collaborating with the actors, and obviously I mean, I always go in story first, and then I work with the actors to get to where we need to get to, if that makes sense. So I'm not coming in and doing like a training session with them. I'm coming in and we're immediately getting to the heart of the story of it, and then those moves will come out of the story. So I've got the story very much in my head, but when I first enter a room for the first time, I absolutely don't know what moves I'm going to do until I start doing it.
Interesting.
So it's coming from instinct. It's coming from instinct with me, and it's coming from instinct with the director and the actors. And that is the bit that keeps me going, because that's the challenge and that's the love.
That's so exciting.
Yeah.
Amazing. That's so interesting, actually, because I almost feel like when people do jobs like this, like actually the best job you could do is people not noticing the job you've done.
Totally.
Because it's so integrated into what's happening. It's almost like, oh, there was a fight director. What did they do in this? And it's like,
exactly.
You've come in and you've just made it seamless.
Yeah, and that's the invisible work that no one else sees, the work that goes on in the rehearsal room, and that collaboration that I have with the actors, and how I get to the point where they are happy to go out there and take it over, really. So, I guess that's the gift I try to give. And it's the invisible work.
Amazing.
I love it. I love that. I love that, if it doesn't sit well with me if it jars in the piece.
Yes.
And that's when I've not done my job very well, or it's not felt right. And I've definitely had those occasions as well, for sure.
Well, this passion is amazing, but if we rewind, where did all this come from? Where was your first touch point with theatre?
Okay, so I've been thinking about this. I mean, I come from a really small town down on the south coast, where a small town called Ringwood. So access to theatre wasn't really there. But when I was in school, I knew I loved it, and I danced, and I loved sport, so I can see where, and I loved drama classes, and I did all the school plays and stuff like that. But actually going to the theatre wasn't really something that was there and accessible for me. But in our school, we had a professional theatre company, community theatre company, called Forest Forge Theatre Company. And they were based in our school for a while. And I did my work experience with them.
Very cool. And
recently, unfortunately, my mum passed away a couple of years ago. So I went up into the loft to clear, and I found a box of all sorts of stuff, including my school reports. I hadn't brought those in. But I found this.
Oh, wow.
And this is my project from my time with Forest Forge Theatre Company and my work experience. I think it was 2 weeks we did. I can't really remember. And I was about 14 or 15 years old.
Yeah.
And I've read it, and it's just really, really funny, because some of the things that I've read are quite similar.
Do you remember writing it?
No, I don't remember until I saw it, clearing out my mum's loft, until I saw it. It was just incredible. I mean, obviously...
So is there any fun...
Yeah, there's some little fun quotes.
So there's diary entries of what you're doing
diary
every
entries,
day.
yeah. And anyway, this one's really funny. After lunch, we did a technical rehearsal, which means you put your costumes on and you use all your props. And when problems arise, you have to think of a way of getting round the problem. This was very tiring.
I think that's what most actors would, technical people would say.
But enjoyable. Aww. And I was just yeah, that's a tech.
That's amazing.
You know, so kind of it all started here, and then this is a good one as well. We didn't rehearse anymore that day, and we went home early. I mean, that's always...
Those are the wins.
Those are the win-wins. So yeah, it was just really lovely to
this is such
to
a
read
record.
that.
Yeah.
I know, and look how neat I did it.
Your writing for a 15, 16-year-old is beautiful.
I know, it was such an enjoyable experience, and I look back on it now and I think, and you know, there's even photographs of me here.
Oh, these are amazing. What was your role when you were doing this?
Oh, so we did this piece called Hampshire Tales, and it was about Dame Alice Lisle, and she was a woman. There's a pub in the forest called Alice Lisle, and she was a woman that housed soldiers in the war.
Yeah.
As you know, and she was actually beheaded.
Wow.
Yeah, so if I can't remember the history of it, but anyway, so she lived in a house that was near the pub, and so we did a story around her, and yeah, I played her, and then we did all sorts of
things.
So
you were an actual performer in it?
Yeah, I was performing in it. So yeah, originally it was all acting.
Yeah. Which I think is everyone's first touch point with
exactly.
this.
So this is all of us doing our little performance.
And it's outside.
It's outside.
It's outside.
Yeah, we did it. We did it several times. This was outside of the Alice Lisle pub on the green there, and this is the group of us. These are all and this was the directed. We were all the same age, all in the same year. I know, it was mad. It was absolutely mad.
It just shows, doesn't it? There's so many opportunities, and if you just grab them, it's so lovely where you can go with stuff. I know people always ask people, oh, how do you get into it? How do you get into it? It's that thing of just find the local clubs, find the local things.
Totally, yeah.
Get involved and...
Yeah, I mean, how it led me... when I look back on it now, I can see that the sort of role as fight director was kind of, I was sort of made for, because everything that I did was always physical. Even stuff in school, like the drama classes, I was already taking on that role of telling physical stories, and I would direct my classmates. But I didn't know that this job existed, and it wasn't until I went and trained as an actor that I understood that stage combat was actually a thing.
I don't think many people, I don't think many people know
it's a thing. Totally, yeah.
It's a fascinating, there's so many roles in theatre that I don't think people know are a thing.
Totally.
So it's great that, it's been amazing how much you have championed it, but it's also fascinating where, as you say, like when you start learning that you can do that, like people fall into stuff, but I love that you took that and you rolled with it, and you've made an amazing career out of it, which is often privilege, isn't it?
Yeah.
So knowing you have this amazing passion for theatre, if you were to do your own theatre, this is, I know it's a really wild question, but do you have an idea of like what would the Kate theatre, Kombat Kate's theatre be?
Well, I've been thinking about this, and I'm obviously a massive champion of women because I have to, it's really important to me.
Great.
I also love sport, and the recent success of the Lionesses, and obviously we've had a play about the male.
Dear England.
Dear England, which I saw. And I think James Graham is a brilliant writer. I'm going to be a little bit controversial. I didn't think that when he represented the role of Serena Wiegmann very well, I felt it was a little bit caricature, and that it was sort of boasting that the women had already won the Euros back in 2022. And I don't think she's that person. I think she's humble, thoughtful, focused. But also I think she's got a desire to win, and she's put this into the girls, this ambition to win and to be the best version of yourselves. And if you're a girl now watching that, that's accessible to you now, because you're seeing these girls play and be strong and be robust and resilient and passionate. When I was a girl, I never saw that. I never had the opportunity to see girls play football, play sport, really. I really wasn't really that aware of it. Even though I loved sport, it wasn't available to me in that way.
Like netball.
Can you imagine me doing netball? I used to get sent off for being too rough.
It's like non-contact sport, isn't it?
And so I've been thinking that wouldn't it be great to have a piece that would celebrate the success of these women, but show them in the light that is truthful and not as a caricature, but actually strong, resilient, passionate women doing a job that they were banned to do for 50 years. And maybe do a piece that has the history of that.
Amazing.
So that's what I'd quite like to do.
That'd be so fun. You could totally do it it's your theatre. I was just looking at our space that we're currently in. I'm always like, look, we've got a pitch.
Exactly. I feel like it should be an immersive piece, like I've done here. And then I said to my husband, where could we do it? I said, Wembley?
Oh my gosh, can you imagine?
I think that might be quite impossible to do it in Wembley, but
you want the more intimate. That's the thing. I remember watching something too big.
This is perfect.
Yeah.
Do you think Nick would let me?
We'll put it in the podcast. We'll send it to him, and
I'd love to do something like that. And
do you have a kind of ideal lead for it already in your head?
I thought about this, but I don't know. Women are my ideal lead for it, because they're very much a team. They work as a team. There's no one that comes across as the best, the most important. And so I just think it's a celebration of women, their bodies and their minds and their emotions, and all the messy bits as well. Women are we're complex, and I want to see all the messiness of that as well. And the fact that these girls, are, standing on the shoulders of other people, but also they feel like it, they want it more because they've probably had to work harder for it, especially the older ones in that team. You know, there would have been a time where probably they didn't even have a kit that fitted them. And now they walk out in a kit that is designed for them.
Yeah, that's not I hadn't even thought about that. That kind of like not comfortable, not movable. Yeah,
exactly. I mean, it's the same way. I mean, I'm a boxing coach as well, and I did some boxing, but I'm actually a boxing coach now, and I coach for England, and the head coach is female. She's a very inspiring woman.
And that's coach for men and women?
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Yeah, national head coach. She's female, and she reminds me of Serena Wiegmann because she's a fantastic leader. But she boxed for GB, Great Britain, back in the day, and she's been a champion of females in the sport. And because of her and other people, girls now in the sport are more exposed.
Yeah.
We've still got a way to go, but it's happening, and that's really exciting.
Gosh.
It's really exciting.
I feel like we then need to follow the football one with a boxing one here.
Yeah, but I think boxing is going to be, I think that's quite hard to...
Do you?
Yeah, you know, like, I think you could do it on film, boxing, but on stage, I think that's quite tricky. I'd give it a good go, but...
I love that. Challenge accepted.
I'd give it a good go, but...
There's not been a lot... I mean, boxing is, I think, maybe it's a harder one for audiences as well, but I feel like audiences don't necessarily I don't understand. I can watch football and appreciate football, but I do find boxing harder as a...
Yeah, totally. It's quite a hard sport to watch. I mean, I'm not involved in professional boxing. I'm involved in what they call... amateur boxing, which is kind of the wrong title, really.
Yeah.
It's called, so we call it Olympic boxing. So anything that you see in Olympics, that's what I'm involved in. So it's 3 rounds, and it's about point scoring. It's not for money, basically. It's not about knocking someone out. And
I love this range of from theatre to football to boxing. As you're such a great advocate for women, is there a woman writer that you'd specifically think?
Yeah, I think Lynn Nottage.
Oh, great.
As I've done a few of her plays, Sweat, and she writes really well for women. She also writes well for women of colour, and obviously there's women of colour in the team, and the recent racial abuse that they've experienced, and well, not recent, it's probably been going on forever, but obviously it was exposed during that tournament. So I just think that she would really get into the heart of those girls and their experiends.
I feel like we need to copyright everything here in case someone takes all this and runs away.
Yeah, that's true,
this is
actually.
So great. And I mean, is there anyone else that you'd like to be involved in it, like creatively? Like, great that you've got literally, I'm like writing notes as producers.
The director, well, there's so many I could choose, but I'm going to go for Lynette Linton. She's an aspiring, inspirational young black director. She's worked a lot with Lynn Nottage, so there's a collaboration there that's understood, and I've worked a lot with her, and she's just fab.
It's so nice. Love her. You've had such a wide range of career that you have been able to see all these people and see those. Yeah. You know, often when you work in one place or with a specific group, you don't get to see that chemistry across, and it's so lovely that you've already been like,
And also, I've seen Lynn Nottage, Lynette Linton from. She was an associate for the Lieutenant of Manishmore that I did for Michael Grandage.
I saw that production.
Did you?
Yeah.
And she spoke to me while we were doing that show, and she said, "I'm doing this little play at the Donmar, and I just wondered if you would be my fight director." I said, "Of course." That little play was Sweat.
Oh, wow!
Changed her life.
It's mad, isn't it?
And from Sweat, the Donmar went into the West End. She then became artistic director of the Bush, and she's flying. And how lovely it is for me to witness someone's career
Yeah, to be at those special moments.
And and I've had those. There's been moments like that. There's been quite a lot of moments. I'm using Lynette as an example, but there's been lots of moments like that. But
you have to be a yes person, don't you, so often, because there's some things you're like, oh, do I have time? Do I have the energy? Or is it going to be paid as well as it? But you just never know where those things take you in this mad
and that's
world.
one of my favourite fights.
Wow, really?
Yeah, because it was it was really hard to do, but it was amazing. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I love
physically the audience vocalised or tensed in that moment.
Such an intimate space there as well, which again you properly felt like you were in it.
Proper. The cast. It was just a real proper family, and I think the community, and that came from Lynette's leadership. And so young, brilliant.
Yeah, she is so young. Gosh. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
My gosh. Well, I think.
So anyway, she's doing my football play.
Brilliant. We've got. I feel like we've almost got everyone there. Anyone else that you'd throw into the mix?
Yeah, I'm going to throw in. So I need a movement person, but I'd love to be part of that, obviously. But I'm going to bring in Fabian, who I've worked with Jamie Lloyd. And he's an amazing choreographer.
Is he doing a Vita at the moment?
Yeah, he's done a Vita, and I've worked with him quite a lot. And I love his choreography because it's really raw. It feels like it's not choreographed, but I know that it is, and that's kind of like how I like my fights. There's a rawness to it, and I feel like between the two of us, I think we'd have a real ace time putting something like this together.
And that seamlessness, you want someone you can work with where it's not like, well, that's your bit and that's my bit.
Yeah. I think we'd have a great time Fabian on that.
Have you suggested it to them yet?
No, not yet. But I've been practicing my Chloe Kelly hop, skip and a thwack.
Love this. Oh my gosh, somehow, somewhere, someone's got to listen to this and...
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, the female version of Dear England.
Yeah. Well, it almost, why not? Dear England is brilliant in so many ways. And it brought a whole audience.
In, yeah.
I mean, I very much enjoyed it, but I loved the fact that I sat in front of a big man that, I don't know if he was a theatre goer, but at the end I watched him wipe away tears.
I know.
And I just thought, this is beautiful. That's what theatre should do. It should move whoever it is.
Absolutely, yeah. And it should invite everybody in. So, that piece definitely did.
Yes.
Because people will remember Gareth Southgate missing that penalty in '96.
Yes.
And then the impact that had on him, and he did have success with the male team, and he brought it into that generation of players more open, more free to play.
Yeah.
And that has probably had an influence on the women's team as well, for sure.
Yes. And people's opinions of football and all of that. Oh, I love it. And what is more accessible than a football? Because you grab a ball and you
kick it.
That's it.
Try get in the goal.
I know it's more to it than that.
Yeah, there's more skill to it than that. But but I love it. I love watching it. I love watching sport because that feeling. I love watching theatre, but I know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
But especially if I've worked on it, I know what's going to happen. But I love that you don't know what's going to happen, and that sort of edge of the seat kind of drama.
Yeah,
it's drama.
It is drama
playing out in front of you. It's theatre.
Yeah, it is, and we're combining them both there.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to bring it back now to the bridge.
Okay, brilliant.
And as we are here in this beautiful space, and as you have been here since the beginning,
I have,
which is also so special. What are your standout moments in this venue, in this place?
Beautiful place. Well, it's got to be, one of them has to be, obviously, when Nick opened the theatre, 2017,
Nick Heitner,
Nick
2017.
Heitner opened the theatre. I'd worked with Nick at the National, and so I've had a collaboration with him now for 15 years, which is amazing. And, when I did Hamlet, was the first show for him I did at the National. So for me, that was massive, because that's massive for a fight director. And, I would say that elevated me on the path that, everybody kind of now recognises. Obviously, they don't know all the stuff before, but that was sort of where perhaps I started to get known a little bit within our industry.
Yeah, that was almost that big moment where people went, oh, look, who's this Kombat Kate? What's she doing?
Yeah, and Nick is a big part of that.
He's so good at finding raw talent and just bringing it up.
Yeah, definitely. And, really proud that collaboration has continued. So when he opened the theatre, and the first production was Young Marks, and he asked me to come and do the fight direction. So, of course, I said yes. And so for me, opening a theatre with being the first fight director in the space to do his first show in his new venue, that's really special. And I will never forget the first preview. And they were still, during the day, because obviously we were here during the day, and they're taking covers off the chairs.
I was the one checking every single magnet to make sure all the numbers are right on those seats at that point.
There was still plastic on the chairs, do you remember?
Oh my gosh.
And it was something really exciting about this venue, that people were going to be sitting in these chairs for the first time, witnessing a new play on a new stage in a new building. So that was exciting. And then I will never forget, sitting in the audience, I was around about here, because obviously it was end on.
Yes.
And Nick came on, and he was literally, I think he was just coming on to sort of like welcome everybody to his new space.
Yeah, because
and literally everybody stood up and gave him a round of applause. And I think he did not expect that at all. And it was just a lovely thing to be part of, and I think it was a real moment of celebrating how influential he's been in British theatre.
And the journey been on, and he's been on. And,
and I think it was a way of people sort of thanking him, and that was just it was an unexpected moment that I was part of, and that was brilliant. That was brilliant.
I was equally there. I was actually in those seats, just at the back there. I sat with my mum and dad, and again to bring I don't know if you had anyone with you.
I had my husband with me.
Did you?
Yeah.
And again, it's that wonderful
to share that.
thing, having your family with you to share a moment like that as well. It's like bringing that personal into this amazing work life. Yeah.
That was so. That is a sort of standout moment, and it's not even really to do with the work. It's to do with what that represented. But then, I would like to say the first immersive piece we did here, which was Julius Caesar, am I right? Yep.
Yeah.
So that was great, because that was fun. Oh my gosh. That was so, because we didn't really know how it was going to work and what it was going to do, but what a piece. And I had to do the fight, well, there was a few things in that because it's Julius Caesar, but the fight between when Cinna, the poet, gets physically killed, basically, and it's pretty horrible, and and we did it in the street, because that's how it should be, because he's in the street, so we didn't lift it up on the platform or anything like that. It was there, and it was among the whole audience, and they didn't know it was going to kick off, and that was very exciting to be part of.
Because it's so close and intimate, and it, as you say, because there were 400 people standing in a space around this action, really close to that action as well.
Yeah, and we didn't know what that was going to look like.
And how the audience are going to react either until a few previews were in, are they going to move out the way? Are we going to kick them? Are they going to know? I had friends in those audiences at times that would look at me and be like, is that part of the act? Like, is that real? That's what you love about theatre, is that kind of moment of people being like, is this real? Is this not? Is this
And fights can do that.
Yeah.
And so that being given that opportunity to that challenge of doing that, and how are we going to navigate the audience in that moment, because obviously I still got to keep them safe, but I still want them to feel that moment as terrifying, nasty, horrific. I think we did it all right. I think we did it all right.
Very well.
And then, of course, you get all the other moments, and you've got Midsummer Night's Dream, and I've got lovers bouncing over the beds, and, Guys and Dogs.
Oh, Guys and Dogs.
The great big brawl in the gay bar. How amazing.
Yeah. And again, amongst all these people in that moment, water spraying everywhere.
Yeah. And then they're like the single moment of the, that shouldn't work, and when this audience are all the way around, but when Sarah Brown hits him.
Yeah.
And the brawl was great, but that single moment and the reaction it got.
Every night.
Yeah. And you're like, it's happening right in front of you. They're not really hitting each other, and I'm thrown in a nap, and you've not spotted it.
A nap is when you do...
Yeah, when I make the sound of, to give the illusion that contact is made. Mm-hmm. And it's a really important moment, because otherwise you won't believe it, because it's silent.
Yes.
Yeah? And then you will know that they've missed. So, like, if I'm going to slap myself, I might make that. And it's the quickness that you do it, and I try to hide them as much as I can, but, you've got, you can't completely hide them, but if it happens really quickly or distracts something. So with the Sarah Brown slap, it was almost like I put a hand, a hand on his shoulder, I think, Sky's shoulder. I can't remember exactly how I did it. Yeah. And it was like she was drawing him in. He thought he was being drawn into a kiss, and then from shoulder, she just whipped it up. Yeah. And I think he put his hand on her hip, if I can remember rightly, and then the nap just came from there, so you couldn't really see it. They were really good at it. They were sharp, they were really good at it. And once they knew it worked, and they got the reaction, then they trusted it. Yes. And that's a big part of my world as well. Trust. Yeah. First minute of any new job is get the trust of that room and that actor. Most important part of the day is the first minute.
Wow.
Yeah, for me it is.
Yes, because you want them to be at ease. You want them to go, this person will...
Yeah, I'm going to help you. Yeah. I'm going to help you look really good.
Yeah. And this person isn't going to hurt me. None of this is going to, and I can come back to them and be like, that doesn't feel right, or...
Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
So that's why I like, even if I'm not maybe tired or my body's aching or whatever, or maybe just not in the mood for it.
Just having a bad day. We all have them.
I have to be I could walk down the corridor and go, okay, here we go. Yeah. And then I've got to enter that space as if it's, where I've got to show up.
Yeah. You become the character. You become Kombat Kate rather than just Kate in the street.
Yeah. So I have to show up every time.
Yeah.
It's not always easy, but you get on with it and you do it.
Amazing.
But then, the rooms are the best thing, really. The space is, the creativity is the best space to be in. It doesn't feel like work, really. Do you know what I mean?
Yes, I do.
Scheduling feels like work.
Yes, when your emails feel like work.
Yeah. Getting on the Trainline app on a regular basis.
Where am I today? Where have I got to go?
Yeah, exactly. That feels like work. In the room, it doesn't feel like work. It just feels like... Play, yeah. And people say to me, isn't it challenging? And I go, yes, but that's the best part.
Because why would we do it?
Yeah, exactly. So, someone said, I can't believe you don't know what you're going to do until you enter the room. And I say, well, that's the best part.
But you've got a toolkit. That's the thing, is people forget that you're not going in with no experience, no world. You've got this amazing toolkit of everything you've done and all the things you've learned and your skills. And...
It's all there, and it's all there. But, the best part is, empowering people to be able to take your work on and do it as well as they can.
Well, I can't imagine you doing anything else from all of the things that you've said.
Oh, yeah.
But let's say that this hadn't happened, that moment hadn't happened of you
doing this job.
This amazing job.
Yeah.
What do you think you would be doing right now in a parallel universe?
A parallel universe,
A sliding doors moment.
Yeah, sliding doors moment. I have a little thought about this, but I mean, maybe... Okay, so we've recently, in the last few years, bought a camper van. I gave in the end. I must have had a moment of a few glasses of wine, and I said, oh, maybe a camper van would be a good idea. I'm not joking, my husband was like on it like I've never seen it. The research, and within 2 weeks we'd put a deposit down. So there we go, now we're we're in the we do little trips in camper van. But do you know what? I love it. I absolutely love it.
You can wake up in different places.
Yeah, exactly. And we get out of London and we get away, and it's really nice. And so anyway, I did say the other day, I said maybe while we were on one of these campsites, and I never thought I'd say this, that I'd be a member of the motorhome and camper van club, but we are.
We all grow up to have these.
And on these sites, they have people that run them for the season, and I think they must be retired, and they are in their camper vans, and they just seem to have a really lovely time. And Mal said, "But what about cleaning the toilets?" I said, "Yeah, maybe I wouldn't do that bit." I said, "But I'd love to just be there for a whole summer and meeting people and going around chatting and having a bacon sandwich with them or whatever." But yeah, no, I don't know. Maybe that would be quite a nice job to do in my retirement.
Expecting kind of some kind of physical sport. I love that it's more of a actually it's kind of you going, this is my job that I'm going to get into at some point.
Yeah, maybe so it's not really a sliding doors moment. It's more like looking to the future.
I think you'd be great. I mean, yes, the toilet thing might not be, but also
I'd get on with it though, to be honest. I'd just get on with it.
Yeah.
But so the camper van thing is definitely a
Any specific place that you'd want to be? Any specific location?
Well, I don't really mind, to be honest, but it's quite nice to be quite near the sea.
Agree.
And we stayed in this site last year in the Mumbles, and it was called Three Cliffs, and in Wales, and but the weather was beautiful, so we were quite lucky that week. And it was actually, I was doing an opera in Cardiff for WNO, and I was there on the Monday and the Friday, so I took Tuesday, Wednesday and Thursday in the camper van. Perfect. Mal came down to meet me, and then we drove off to the Gower, and it's amazing. The beaches are you could be in New Zealand. Absolutely incredible. And we did have the most amazing weather, so Wales definitely delivered for me that week. I'm not sure that it's always like that, but yeah, it was incredible. So yeah, somewhere by the sea would be great.
Amazing.
Yeah.
That is the joy of England, I think, and the UK generally.
Yeah.
I don't think we explore it enough to go to those places. So
yeah, I'm off in the camper van this weekend as well.
Where are you going?
We're going to the Cotswolds this weekend, not too far, but yeah. So literally, you can get out quite quickly out of London, and you can be in the middle of nowhere. And I think, for me, my life is so busy, and I'm pretty much in motion all the time, and that just lets me reset.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it doesn't really matter how I look, how I turn up, how I am.
Yeah.
I can just reset, be in nature, and I quite like it. Even though I felt like I was bullied into getting one.
Sometimes we don't know what's good for us. Amazing.
So maybe that's where I see myself in the future, but who knows? I don't really see myself stopping.
Yes.
I don't think there's a retirement plan in my industry, in our industry. Yeah, I'll just keep going for as long as my body keeps going.
It's because we love it.
Keeps
as you
going.
say, sometimes it's not a job. It is just our life.
Yeah, it's life. And the best thing is that having, to get to share that, I've lost my mum now, but I shared so much with her. She came here.
Oh,
and I love that I've been able to do that.
Yeah.
That's a really sort of, not many people get to share their world. And I get to share my world with my friends and my family, and especially my mum. She was so proud, so it was nice.
Amazing.
Nice to do that.
That seems like the perfect note to just...
Doesn't it?
It does.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're so welcome. Thanks for having me.
Oh, I've had the best chat.
Great.
What a good way to start the day.
Yeah.
Thank you, Kate.
You're welcome.
And that's it for this episode of the Bridge Theatre podcast. A massive thank you to Kate for her time and for telling us all about her fantasy theatre production. If someone doesn't pick that up, I will. I don't know how, but I will. Please follow us wherever you get your podcasts. If it's on YouTube, hit subscribe because it'll help more people find us. If you want to know more about the Bridge Theatre and things that we do, check out bridgetheatre.co.uk, and you could even buy a ticket to see one of these shows. Thanks for listening, and join us next week for another edition of the Bridge Theatre podcast. See you then!